Hi, my name is Michelle, and I'm the creator of Reading Rewards. I wanted to take a few minutes to take you through the website so you can see for yourself how Reading Rewards can really help encourage your kids to read more. Once you've signed up for one of our free accounts, click on the Sign In tab and log in with your username and password. That will take your child directly to their Friends page. Friends are great because once you're connected to your friends on Reading Rewards, you can see what they're currently reading and what they've recently read. It's a great source for book recommendations. You can also see how many RR miles they've accumulated. When you're connected to friends on Reading Rewards, you'll also be able to play with them in the Fun and Games section, but we'll show you more of that later. The My Reading tab is where you go to track your reading. The first thing you'll see is your profile section, where you can see and change your avatar, see how much reading time you've logged since joining the site, see any rewards you're working on from sponsors, and how many RR miles you've accumulated. This section here is where you can see your different reading log entries and where you go to log your reading time. As you log your reading time, your virtual library will build up down here automatically. This is a view of all the books that you've read. Down here, you can also build up your wish list. So that's your reading tab. The My Rewards tab is where you go to set up and track any reading rewards that you're working on. When you first click on it, you'll see your profile section, which again will show you your total reading time today, this week, RR miles that you've accumulated, and rewards that you've earned. You can also see your RR store. Now your RR store is where you'll go to spend your RR miles. You earn RR miles by reading 1 minute for every minute of reading time that you do, up to a maximum of 90 per day. What you'll want to do is agree on different rewards with your parents. For example, 500 RR miles buys you a pack of Silly Bands, or 50 RR miles buys you a tickle session with Dad. So that's the RR store. Sit down with your child and agree on a few small but meaningful rewards that they'll be eager to work towards, and set them up here in your RR store. The next tab is the My Reading Reward Programs tab. This is just a different way to track and earn rewards. We use it in our house to track TV time. Kids earn TV time by reading, and actually it's the only way they're allowed to watch TV. They earn 1 minute of TV time for every 2 minutes of reading. So as they log their reading time on the website, they earn TV time, and every time they watch TV, they click on the redeem button over here. So this number here is always showing them an updated figure, updated amount of TV time that they're allowed to watch. So that's a little bit about rewards. The next tab is the Groups tab. Did you know that Reading Rewards can also be used as a reading incentive program in the classroom? Let's take a look at an existing group and show you how they're using it. For each group, you've got a number of tabs here. The first tab, the description, is where you as a teacher can set out your rules, your mission, your targets. The next tab here, our target, is a little bit of a visual that shows you and your classroom how you're doing on your target. So this group is trying to reach 16,500 reading minutes, and you can see that they're just about halfway there. The Group Members tab here shows you a list of all the kids that are part of the group. It's showing their little avatars, their name. Hovering over the kids' names shows you what they're currently reading and what they've recently read. You can see what their total reading time is since the group started, how many books they've finished, how many minutes they've read this week, and whether or not they've reached their weekly targets. Teachers can set weekly or daily targets, and depending on what they set, the appropriate columns will appear over here. Now, if I had been logged in as the group administrator, I'd also see a link that would allow me to see each child's individual reading log. Your class also gets its own blog, where you can post questions or comments about books that you're currently reading. Now, if you as a teacher aren't comfortable allowing kids to blog, you can set that on your group definition and not allow kids to post to the blog. It's completely up to you, but it's a feature that the students quite enjoy. The next tab is the Reviews tab. As your students are logging and tracking their reading time, they're invited to review their books. They get bonus RR miles when they rate and review them. So on this tab, you'll see all the reviews that the students in your group have put in for their books. Hovering over the book gives you a bit of information about the book itself. You see how many stars the student gave it, and the review will appear over here on the right. And it's great to see the effort that some of the students put in to reviewing their books. You'll also get a Favorites tab over here. Any books that your students have rated 4 or 5 stars will appear in this section. Hovering over the book will show you who enjoyed it and show you their review. It's a great way for the students in your class to get ideas for the next books to read. We'll also give you some charts that show you total reading time since your group began, this week's reading, and a daily reading chart. It's a great way to visually see who your big readers are and which ones might still need a bit of additional encouragement. So those are some of the basics about setting up and running reading groups on Reading Rewards. So we've covered most of the tabs. There's still some more, for example, fun and games. As kids read and log their reading time, they earn privileges to advance in fun and games against other Reading Rewards members. Games like Battleship, Bingo, Code Cracker, lots more. The basic idea is simple. The more the kids read, the more they can play, and the better their chances are of winning. A bit more of a reading incentive for the kids. Kids will also get book recommendations. By clicking on the Book Recommendations tab, they have different options. First of all, the first tab is books other kids are reading. Now, these happen to be books that other kids their age are reading. So again, hovering over the book, they get information about who has read it and what they thought of the book. You can also see books that your friends have read recently, a view of the most popular books on Reading Rewards. We've also compiled different book lists from various sources that can help you with your book choices. So there you have it, a quick tour of Reading Rewards. Hopefully it's given you a good enough idea about how you might be able to use it to help encourage your own kids to read more. Happy reading!